Click here to subscribe our channel. Do not forget to press bell icon to get regular updates of free videos.
Introductory micro course content will be basically in semester 1 you are studying introductory micro, semester 2 will become introductory macro, semester 3 will be intermediate micro as well as intermediate macro. So in first year in two different semester, in one semester it is only micro, next semester only macro. Second year both semester, that is third and fourth both, micro and macro both, and the level will become intermediate. In the final year it will become advanced. So first year is introductory, second year is intermediate, and third year will be advanced. But in third year it will become an optional paper. You may choose it, you may not choose it. But in the first year and second year there is no option. These are the core paper. So the first year content, on first sheet write down the content. Content for introductory macro, there are 6 units. Unit number 1 is exploring subject matter of economics. Exploring subject matter of economics. Exploring subject matter of economics. Then unit number 2, briefly यहाँ लिख दीजिएगा ये, this will be chapter number 1 and chapter number 2. Chapter number 1 and 2. Second unit is demand and supply. Unit number 2 will be demand and supply. That second unit will include chapter number 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 5 chapters. After that unit number 3, third unit will be household. Third unit will be household. Household topic will include chapter number 21. Then unit number 4. Fourth unit is theory of firm and competitive market. Theory of firm and competitive market. The theory of firm and competitive market will be including chapter number 13 and chapter number 14. Then fifth unit will be again market, but that is imperfect market. Fifth unit is imperfect market. Unit number 4 is competitive market. Unit number 5 is imperfect market. Imperfect market mainly we have to study here monopoly. That is chapter number 15. And last unit is again market, but that will be input market. And that input market will be chapter number 18. Input market is chapter number 18. All those chapters from introductory micro book by Mankiw. So either you can take book or you can take the reading. ठीक है, अगर आपके पास बुक हो सकती है या फिर आप रीडिंग रखेंगे. ठीक है, तो these are the separate, these are the different chapters we have to refer. We don't have to refer the entire book, only chapter number 1 and 2, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Household will be only 10, 21 chapters, 13, 14, 15 and 18 chapters. So these are the content of. Now the question paper structure will be that your first question will be compulsory. Question number 1 will be compulsory. Then out of 5 you can choose any 4, or out of 6 you can choose any 4, depending upon how many questions are given. But first question will always be the compulsory, and that compulsory question will be including topics from various units. देयर इज नो सेपरेट वेटेज रिटन इन द रीडिंग लिस्ट। रीडिंग लिस्ट में कोई वेटेज मेंशन नहीं है कि इस यूनिट का इतने नंबर का क्वेश्चन आएगा, बट वेटेज विल बी अकॉर्डिंग टू द प्रपोर्शन ऑफ कंटेंट। जहाँ कंटेंट ज़्यादा है उसका ग्रेटर प्रपोर्शन होगा। सो द मोस्ट important unit will be unit number 2 because content in unit number 2 is more. So from next page start with unit number 2 first. First unit is mainly introduction. Introduction we can cover it at the end also. So first thing, according to priority, write down unit number 2, demand and supply, chapter number 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Chapter number 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. ठीक है। नाउ फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट पेज यूनिट नंबर्स 2 which is demand and supply, and content for unit number 2 is chapter number 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 5 चैप्टर्स फ्रॉम मैनक्यू। ठीक है, बट रजिस्टर में किसी चैप्टर की हेडिंग नहीं डालनी है। वी आर नॉट स्टडिंग ओनली वन पर्टिकुलर चैप्टर कि चैप्टर 4 पढ़ा है, फिर 5 होगा, फिर 6 होगा, फिर 7 एंड 8। वी आर स्टडिंग यूनिट नंबर 2, सो दैट यूनिट विल बी टेकिंग अराउंड 5 to 6 क्लासेस। ठीक है, 5 to 6 क्लास में ये सेकेंड यूनिट होगा। सो चैप्टर की हेडिंग नहीं बनानी है। डायरेक्टली यू विल स्टार्ट विद द बेसिक कंसेप्ट, and in that basic concept I will be explaining here application of elasticity of demand. So first heading is application of elasticity. Application of elasticity. Application of elasticity. But before explaining the application of elasticity, which will be in the form of incidence, मतलब burden of tax, mainly explain क्या करना है। If government is imposing tax, then the burden of that tax will be on buyer or on seller or on both. If it depends it is on both, then on whom burden will be more, on whom burden will be less. So the burden of tax depends upon elasticity. In that way it is application of elasticity demand. Whether burden will be more on buyer or more on seller, that will depend upon elasticity of demand as well as on elasticity of supply. तो वो elasticity का function होगा. But what is the meaning of the term elasticity? Elasticity word will be standing for response, change. तो elasticity of demand is a response of demand due to change in price. If I say income elasticity, it means response of demand due to change in income. तो elasticity basically stands for response or change. तो elasticity of demand is response of demand due to change in price or due to change in income. It could be due to change in price of any other commodity. So do one thing. First, just the basic part of elasticity, basic concept of elasticity. After that we can start with the application part. ठीक है, तो just do one thing, just define the term elasticity here. रजिस्टर में वन लाइन लिखते जाएंगे। Elasticity of demand is a numerical measure of elasticity of demand is a numerical measure of elasticity of demand is a numerical measure of degree of responsiveness in quantity demanded, degree of responsiveness in quantity demanded due to change in first point करना, due to change in price of that commodity. Second, income of consumer. Third, price of related commodity, price of related commodity, price of related commodity, full stop. Accordingly we have three different types of elasticity of demand. Accordingly we have three different types of elasticity of demand. Three different types of elasticity of demand. A, price elasticity of demand. B, income elasticity of demand. A, price elasticity of demand. B, income elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand. And third, cross price elasticity of demand. Cross price elasticity of demand. Cross price elasticity of demand. Equation का term is, that means demand for quantity X or commodity X is a function of price of that commodity. It will be a function of income of consumer, and it will be a function of price of related commodity like Y. So demand for good X is a function of price, it is a function of income, it is a function of price of related commodity. So when price will change, demand will respond, but how much will be that response? That will be measured by price elasticity. So price elasticity will measure the degree of response. When price changes, demand will change, but by how much? To magnify or to determine its quantity, we measure income elasticity. Similarly, when income will change, demand will respond, but by how much it will change, that will be determined by income elasticity. While calculating price elasticity, you keep other factor constant. While finding income elasticity, we keep again other factor constant. तो अभी आप सिर्फ price elasticity को एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं, तो अब स्पेसिफिकली प्राइस elasticity के लिए एक वर्ड लिख दीजिएगा. It is price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand. ठीक है, टर्म डिफाइन कर लेना. It is a numerical measure of degree of responsiveness. It is a numerical measure of degree of responsiveness in quantity demanded. Degree of responsiveness in quantity demanded due to change in price of that commodity. Due to change in price of that commodity, keeping other factors constant. Keeping other factors constant. Keeping other factors constant. इक्वेशन में इसको ऐसा लिखेगा. इलास्टिसिटी के लिए स्मॉल ई, पी सब्सक्रिप्ट में लिख देना, रीड करना इसको प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी, और ये कैलकुलेट करता है प्रोपोर्शनेट मतलब परसेंटेज डेल्टा फॉर चेंज, प्रोपोर्शनेट चेंज इन क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड अपॉन proportionate change in price. And how to calculate that percentage change? Change in quantity upon base quantity into 100. Change in price upon price into 100. ये 100 cancel out हो गया. So it is delta Q upon delta P into P upon Q. And always write it in terms of this. ब्रैकेट में लिखने की आदत डालिएगा. मतलब इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड इज प्रोडक्ट ऑफ टू रेशियो. इलास्टिसिटी डिमांड इज प्रोडक्ट ऑफ टू रेशियो. वन रेशियो इज P by Q, अदर रेशियो इज delta Q by delta P. I can write it in terms of mathematically as what is delta Q by delta P. What does it measure? Delta Q by delta P का मतलब हो गया change in demand due to change in price. And mathematically what you will do? if I say dq by dp like dy by dx, तो अगर आप dy by dx करते हैं तो क्या होता है, चेंज इन y ड्यू टू चेंज इन x, so it is change in demand due to change in price, so in fact it is dq by dp. so what you are differentiating, आपने डिफ्रेंशिएट किया डिमांड के फंक्शन को प्राइस के रेस्पेक्ट में इनटू p बाई q कर देंगे, तो इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड कैन बी कैलकुलेटेड बाय दिस इक्वेशन. इलास्टिसिटी डिमांड यहाँ से कैलकुलेट हो जाएगा, बट दिस फॉर्मूला इज नॉट कंप्लीट, अब ये कंप्लीट नहीं है. रीजन बीइंग, व्हाट इज द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन प्राइस एंड क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड, इनवर्स. तो अगर इनवर्स रिलेशन है दैट मीन्स वेन एवर चेंज इन प्राइस विल बी पॉजिटिव, चेंज इन डिमांड विल बी नेगेटिव. प्राइस एंड डिमांड आर मूविंग इन अपोजिट डायरेक्शन. So if either delta P or delta Q is negative, then entire value will become negative. That means elasticity will always come out to be negative. But we can prove that elasticity is always positive. If you calculate elasticity, it will come out to be negative. But you can prove that elasticity is always positive. So to make that elasticity positive, you add minus sign in formula itself. If you do not add that minus sign, this dq by dq will always be negative, but elasticity or demand is always positive. Just wait for 5 minutes, it can be proved that elasticity demand why it is always positive. So elasticity of demand is minus dq by dp into p by q. ऐसे आप किसी क्वेश्चन में अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, न्यूमेरिकली कैलकुलेट कर लोगे. इफ आई राइट एनी डिमांड फंक्शन एंड आई से कैलकुलेट elasticity demand, so if I say quantity demanded is equal to, say quantity demanded is equal to 90 minus 2p, डिमांड का फंक्शन लिखा है आपको, और अब मैं कह रहा हूँ फाइंड प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड व्हेन प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी डिमांड निकालिएगा व्हेन प्राइस इज 20. सो हाउ मच इज इलास्टिसिटी डिमांड व्हेन प्राइस इज 20. अब आपको ज़्यादातर क्वेश्चन ऐसे अप्लाई करना, यूज़ करना, फंक्शन गिवन होंगे. सो टू कैलकुलेट इलास्टिसिटी यू नीड प्राइस, यू नीड क्वांटिटी. पी इज गिवन टू यू, पी की वैल्यू मालूम है. इफ़ यू पुट दैट वैल्यू ऑफ पी हियर यू विल गेट क्यू ऑल्सो. तो आपको पी और क्यू मालूम है, यू नीड टू फाइंड डी क्यू बाई डी पी, एंड डी क्यू बाई डी पी इज डिफ्रेंसिएशन ऑफ दिस फंक्शन. सो हाउ टू सॉल्व, dq by dp is how much, if you differentiate it, constant term का डेरिवेटिव 0 हो गया, it is minus 2. therefore price elasticity demand is minus in place of dq by dp and then p by q, वैल्यू पुट कर देंगे. in place of dq by dp you write minus 2, price is 20 and when price is 20 how much is quantity, p की वैल्यू यहाँ 20 पुट कर दीजिएगा. So it is 20, then it becomes 40, 90 minus 40, 50. So how much is elasticity demand? 40 by 54 by 5. It is 0.8. ठीक है. तो इलास्टिसिटी डिमांड किसी फंक्शन से कैलकुलेट कर लेंगे, वट एवर बी द फंक्शन अप्लाई हो सकता है. सो फर्स्ट थिंग, इलास्टिसिटी और डिमांड इज बेसिकली, first of all you have to differentiate that function, then multiply it by p into q. Clear है? Now if you apply this concept further, जैसे एक नोट में पॉइंट सुन लेंगे. if I draw a straight line demand curve, when you draw demand curve you write price on vertical axis, quantity on horizontal axis. Can you determine how much is slope of this line? If equation of line is given to you, slope find कर सकते हैं. line का equation given है, so if demand equation is given to you, that means equation of that line is given to you. So how to calculate slope of that line? Differentiation. तो differentiation मतलब dy by dx करोगे, y axis पे क्या है, x पे क्या है, तो slope के लिए क्या बोलना है, dp by dq कीजिएगा. इलास्टिसिटी में हमने dq by dp किया है, because elasticity measures change in demand due to change in price, but slope is geometrical concept. It is always dy by dx, change in vertical axis upon change in horizontal axis. तो स्लोप इज ऑलवेज dp by dq. You can say it is delta q up delta p upon delta q. But now in elasticity equation, what you are writing? In elasticity you have written delta q upon delta p into p by q. While calculating numerical you have to write that minus sign, otherwise minus sign can be ignored. तो elasticity delta q by delta p into p by q है, but in place of that delta q by delta p what I can write? Slope is delta p by delta q. So 1 upon slope into price upon quantity. So now ये बता सकते हैं कि elasticity of demand depends upon which term? Elasticity of demand is a function of slope, and what is the relationship with slope? Inverse relation. Greater will be slope, less elasticity. Less slope, greater will be elasticity. So applying that concept, ये बताना if I draw demand curve vertical and if I draw demand curve horizontal. So demand curve can be vertical, demand curve can be horizontal also. So what is slope and how much is elasticity in each case? If you draw demand curve vertical, then what is slope and what is elasticity? Remember, elasticity inverse of slope. So what is slope and what is elasticity in first case? When line is vertical, it means slope is infinity. When slope is infinity, then elasticity will be 0. So in the first case, we say that slope is infinite, therefore elasticity of demand is 0. And when line is horizontal, it means slope 0 and elasticity is infinity. So when elasticity is 0 or infinity, then line will be either vertical or horizontal. It will be either vertical or horizontal. Fine. Elasticity varies inversely with the slope. Now, on this straight line demand curve, at each point on that straight line demand curve, slope is constant. If line is straight, then slope at every point is same. So if slope is same at every point, can we say that elasticity of demand is also same? Remember, elasticity does not depend only on slope. It is a function of slope as well as P by Q. अब जरा यहाँ ध्यान देना. As you move downward, जैसे जैसे आप इस लाइन के ऊपर डाउनवर्ड मूव करते जाओगे, as you move downward along this demand curve, price will reduce. So at this corner point, how much is price? As you move downward, price decreases. So at this corner point, what is price? So when price is 0, entire value 0. Therefore at this corner point, price elasticity demand is 0 because price is 0. And as you move upward, quantity will fall. As you move upward, quantity will fall. So at this corner, how much is quantity? So when in place of that quantity, you will write 0. So anything divided by 0. So at this point, elasticity of demand is infinity. So what we can say? We can simply say that on any given straight line demand curve, price elasticity of demand varies between what? 0 to infinity. But if elasticity varies between 0 to infinity, it means we are proving that it can't be negative. अगर कोई वैल्यू 0 to infinity के बीच है तो वैल्यू नेगेटिव होने के लिए लेस देन 0 होना है. So you are proving that elasticity is between 0 to negative. That means elasticity is always positive, and that is why you added minus sign in the formula to make elasticity positive. ठीक है. तो price elasticity of demand is a function of slope. It is inverse of slope, and price elasticity of demand is also a function of P by Q. So depending upon price and quantity, elasticity of demand will vary. So on any given straight line demand curve, elasticity does not remain same, although slope remains same. कुछ basic points नोट में आप लिख लेंगे, so that वो बाद में याद रहेगा. Point number 1. price elasticity या demand, price elasticity या demand, price elasticity या demand varies inversely with slope of demand curve, varies inversely with slope of demand curve, varies inversely with slope of demand curve. Second, on a given straight line demand curve, on a given straight line demand curve, on a given straight line demand curve, price elasticity or demand, price elasticity or demand varies between 0 to infinity, varies between 0 to infinity. Third, on x-axis, price elasticity demand is 0, and on y-axis price elasticity demand is infinity. On y-axis price elasticity demand is infinity. ठीक है? और whenever I say elasticity is 0 or infinity, that means demand will be either vertical or it will be horizontal. तो अभी elasticity नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं, we are studying application of elasticity. elasticity की बात अभी कम कर रहे हैं. रिमेंबर ये वर्ड पे ध्यान दीजिएगा, इकोनॉमिक्स ऑनर्स में इसका इम्पोर्टेंस काफ़ी ज़्यादा है. दैट मीन्स ऑलवेज यू आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू अप्लाई द कंसेप्ट. You know the basic concept of elasticity, but nowhere it will be written what do you mean by price elasticity demand. वो क्वेश्चन नहीं आ रहा. What are the different method of calculating elasticity demand? You are supposed to know it, but you are expected to apply that concept. So application of elasticity. Application of elasticity. Although there are various applications, but we are right now focusing on incidence of tax. Incidence word means burden. So it is burden of tax. Burden of tax. And the tax which is being referred here is called unit tax. You can also call it specific tax, or it is also called quantity tax. इन सब का मतलब एक ही है. For example, if I say that tax is ₹5 per unit, तो अगर मैंने कहा tax is ₹5 per unit, that means on every unit you have to pay a tax of ₹5. Remember, it is not percentage. I am not saying 5%, I am saying ₹5, so that per unit. So on every unit you have to pay ₹5 per unit tax. So if a tax of ₹5 per unit is imposed on any good, the burden of that tax will be on buyer or seller. We have to determine it. Now in order to explain that concept, पहले आप ये बताएंगे how prices are determined in market. Suppose there is no tax right now. Simple calculation होगा. To determine the burden of tax, I have to calculate two things. One is what was price without tax and what is price after tax. Only then we can compare. So before or without any tax, how prices are determined? Prices are determined in market by the market forces. And what are market forces? Demand and supply. So we are studying that unit of demand and supply. So without any tax, prices are determined by demand curve and supply curve. So if equation of demand curve and supply curve is given to you, you can always calculate equilibrium quantity. and you can calculate that equilibrium price of quantity calculate हो जाएगा if demand function supply function will be given to you. So numerically equation of these two line will be given to you and you are supposed to calculate that price. So if there is no tax, the price paid by buyer and the price received by seller will be same. If there is no tax, then the price paid by buyer and the price received by seller will be same. But what happens after tax? What will be the outcome after tax? Remember, this tax can be imposed either on buyer or it can be imposed on seller. But when I say impose, it does not mean the burden. Imposition का मतलब है कि legal responsibility किसकी है tax pay करने की. So if I say tax is imposed on seller, it means legally seller is liable to pay tax to the government. But that seller may pass on the burden of that tax on the buyer. So burden means separate thing. So tax may be imposed on buyer, it can be imposed on seller, but the outcome will remain same. Now simple सा point है, ये rough diagram यूज कर लेंगे, main diagram ये रखेंगे अभी. If you draw supply curve, ठीक है, ये supply curve मैंने यहाँ draw कर दिया, ध्यान दीजिएगा अभी, draw नहीं करना. What does supply curve explain? Relationship between what? Price and quantity supplied. So if I mark here 1 unit and corresponding to that if I mark here 10, so when you draw supply curve you write price and quantity. What does it mean? इस वैल्यू का इंटरप्रिटेशन क्या होगा? Seller is ready to sell 1 unit at a price of 10 rupees. It means that now if on every unit seller has to pay a tax of 5 rupees, then without any tax seller was ready to sell that unit at a price of 10. Now seller has to pay a tax of 5 rupees on that unit. So now seller will be ready to sell that unit at a price of, तो at a price of 15 का मतलब है supply curve will be passing through that point then, which means after imposition of tax supply curve will shift up. And how much is the gap between these two supply curve? How much is the gap? The gap is 5. And what is 5? Tax size है, वो tax size है. That means whatever be the tax size, by the size of tax supply curve will shift up. Supply curve shift हो जाएगा upside. Now apply that concept here, because prices in market are not determined only by the seller, it is determined by the intersection of demand and supply. ध्यान देना भी डायग्राम पे. If I draw supply curve after tax, if this is the supply curve after tax, then what is new market price? Higher हो जाएगा, ठीक है. This is the new market price. This is the new market price which is inclusive of tax. इसमें tax include हो गया. The price inclusive of tax will be paid by the buyer. When you buy a good, you pay the price, but that price include all the taxes. So this price include the taxes imposed by the government. And how much is that tax? Graphically, what is the distance? 5. Graphically this gap, because vertical gap between supply curve is tax size. So graphically the gap is this. Now if I say that tax was 5 rupees on every unit, ध्यान से देख करके बताएंगे whether market price has gone up by 5 rupees or less than 5 rupees. Without any tax, what was the price? P. After tax of 5 rupees, price has increased, but increase in price is by 5 or less than 5. If I say this gap is 5, if this gap is 5, certainly this gap is less than 5. Clear है? टैक्स अगर 5 का लग रहा है तो प्राइस 5 से नहीं बढ़ा. इट मीन्स व्हाट? इट मीन्स दैट द एंटायर बर्डन ऑफ टैक्स हैज नॉट बीन शिफ्टेड ऑन द बायर. इफ टैक्स वाज imposed on 5 but market price rises only by 2 rupees, so on buyer burden of only 2 rupees and the remaining burden will be on seller. तो प्राइस का जो इंक्रीज होगा that will be indicating buyer's burden. And remember, this is the price which include tax, but we do not pay tax to the seller, we pay tax to the government, but it goes to government through seller. That is why you call it indirect tax. Indirectly किधर जा रहा है? गवर्नमेंट के पास जाएगा. तो जो प्राइस हमने पे कर रखा है इट इंक्लूड टैक्स एंड हाउ मच इज द टैक्स, दिस टैक्स विल गो टू द गवर्नमेंट. सो व्हाट प्राइस seller will keep, seller will keep this price, this is price received by seller and this is the quantity after tax. Increase in price for buyer point of view will be buyer's burden, decrease in price for seller's point of view will be seller's burden, and if you add both the burden you will get tax revenue, because on each unit how much was the tax, on each unit tax was this tax size multiplied by the quantity. If government has imposed a tax of 5 rupees and after imposition of tax quantity sold in market is say 100, so how much is the total tax collected by government, 100 into that 500 rupees. So price paid by buyer and price received by seller, the gap between these two price will be equal to the size of tax. ये टैक्स साइज के बराबर होता है. प्राइस पेड बाय बायर, प्राइस रिसीव्ड बाय सेलर will be different and it will be different only when you impose a tax. In the absence of tax, the price that you pay as a buyer and the price which this seller receives are same, but when there is tax involved, then you pay a higher price which is inclusive of tax, but seller keep lower price because that tax will be passed on to the government. So the gap between buyer's price and seller's price will be equal to the size of tax. Now one important question is, can you determine whether burden on buyer is more or whether burden on seller is more? Above area is buyer's burden, lower one is seller's burden, but can we determine whether burden on buyer is more or whether burden on seller is more? We can't say. जब तक कोई नंबर लिखा ना जाए नहीं बता सकते. So remember, buyer's burden upon seller's burden, buyer's burden upon seller's burden will be equal to elasticity of supply over elasticity of demand. Just wait 1 minute, after that you can copy. When I say buyer's burden upon seller's burden is equal to ES upon ED, buyer's burden upon seller's burden is equal to elasticity of supply upon elasticity of demand. It means, in fact, 4 relations follow from that equation. The burden on buyer varies directly with elasticity of supply. The burden on seller varies directly with elasticity of demand, and when you make a cross relationship then inverse. ठीक है, जरा स्टेटमेंट पे ध्यान देना आप. Buyer's burden varies directly with elasticity of supply, which means greater will be elasticity of supply, greater will be burden on buyer, less is elasticity of supply, less is burden on buyer, 0 is elasticity of supply, 0 is burden on buyer. So when burden on buyer is 0, then full burden on. So if question says in which condition complete burden will be on seller, then what is the answer? When elasticity of supply is 0. ठीक है. Similarly, when elasticity of demand is more, seller's burden is more. When elasticity of demand is less, seller's burden is less. So when elasticity of demand is 0, then seller's burden is 0, so complete burden on buyer. So there will be complete burden on buyer or complete burden on seller if elasticity of demand or supply is 0. अब आप ये बताओ, in this diagram how much is elasticity? Is it 0? If elasticity would have been 0, तो supply का vertical होता. हमने vertical supply कर्व नहीं बनाया. It means what? I am not taking elasticity 0. अगर elasticity 0 होगी तो कर्व भी तो different हो जाएगा. So complete burden can be shifted provided we have 0 elasticity of demand or 0 elasticity of supply. So that burden of tax varies, buyer's burden varies directly with elasticity of supply and seller's burden varies directly with elasticity of demand. Now there are 2 aspects of this concept. One, you may be asked to explain that concept, and second, you are expected to calculate it. तो जो पॉइंट हमने यहाँ मार्क कर रखा है पीबी और पीएस, उसको कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो न्यूमेरिकली. न्यूमेरिकली सारी चीज़ें कैलकुलेट करनी है. सो देयर आर 2 एस्पेक्ट ऑफ इट. फर्स्ट, सॉल्व इट न्यूमेरिकली, देन वी विल डू इट in words. So just copy this down and after that write first numerical example. हो गया. Just I'm giving you first problem, numerical problem. Just keep one thing in mind. After imposition of tax, price for buyer has gone up and price for seller has reduced. Therefore, the burden is on buyer and seller both. So, the first problem, numerical problem number 1. Suppose market demand and supply function are quantity demanded is 2000 minus 5p and quantity supplied is minus 1500 plus 45p. ठीक है. First part, solve for equilibrium price and quantity. Solve for equilibrium price and quantity. तो डिमांड और सप्लाई इक्वेशन गिवन है, इक्वेट करके प्राइस और क्वांटिटी निकाल सकते हैं. सेकेंड, if a tax of rupees 15 per unit, if a tax of rupees 15 per unit is placed on buyer, if a tax of rupees 15 per unit is placed on buyer, then calculate price paid by buyer, comma price received by seller, and government tax revenue ठीक है. सो सॉल्व करने के लिए वी हैव टू गो थ्रू दीज टू स्टेप. विदाउट एनी टैक्स फर्स्ट सॉल्व दैट वैल्यू. So without any tax I will simply equate demand with supply. So 2000 minus 5p is equal to minus 1500 plus 45p. Therefore price is equal to equate demand and supply and calculate market price. How much? 70. 700 कैसे? 70 होगा. 70 होगा. प्राइस इज 70. 3500 बाई 50 है. ठीक है. एंड हाउ मच इज क्वांटिटी? मार्केट इक्विलिब्रियम क्वांटिटी किसी भी एक इक्वेशन में पुट कर देंगे, आइदर डिमांड में या सप्लाई में. 70 की वैल्यू डिमांड सप्लाई में इक्वेट कर दो आइदर में. 1650. ठीक है, one part has been solved. Now question is what happens after tax. Now always remember, whenever you draw demand curve and supply curve, when taxes are imposed, when taxes will be imposed, it can be imposed on buyer, it can be imposed on seller, but in either case the price paid by buyer will increase. So if it is imposed on seller, then supply curve shifts. If it is imposed on buyer, then demand curve shifts, but the outcome will remain same. So if tax is imposed on buyer, then always write new demand function. Write down that new demand function. What is the original demand function given to you? 2000 minus 5p. But when tax is imposed on buyer, after taxation price paid by buyer increases. So in that price add the size of tax, but add करते समय step ये रखना. So the new demand function will become 2000 minus 5. उस प्राइस में हमने 15 क्या कर दिया है, ऐड कर दिया. वट एवर बी द कोएफिशिएंट उसको साइड में रखिएगा. ठीक है, बट डोंट राइट माइनस 5p प्लस 15. इट इज माइनस 5 विद इन ब्रैकेट, इट इज p plus 15. So this is your new demand function. So what is the new market equilibrium? For that new market equilibrium, again you will equate demand with supply, but that new demand function is 2000 minus 5p plus 15 is equal to supply is minus 1500 plus 45p, and find p again. रिमेंबर क्वेश्चन पेपर में या फंक्शन में नहीं लिखा होता है कि इट इज पी बी और पी एस. यू हैव टू इंटरप्रेट दैट पी. सो द न्यू वैल्यू ऑफ प्राइस. How much? 71. दोबारा कितना? Price will be 68.5. अब आप ये बताओ कि ये जो प्राइस आया है, इज इट प्राइस पेड बाय बायर और प्राइस रिसीव्ड बाय सेलर? कौन सा प्राइस है ये? रिमेंबर आफ्टर टैक्स प्राइसेस विल बी डिफरेंट फॉर बायर एंड सेलर. तो ये जो प्राइस आ रहा है 68.5, दिस इज द प्राइस पेड बाय बायर और इज इट द प्राइस रिसीव्ड बाय सेलर? ओरिजिनल प्राइस कितना था और ये वैल्यू? तो कम किसके लिए होता है? सेलर के लिए. और बढ़ेगा किसके लिए? बायर के लिए. तो अगर ये लोअर वैल्यू है तो लोअर वैल्यू है, देन इट इज प्राइस रिसीव्ड बाय सेलर. एंड नाउ what is the gap between buyer price and seller price? The gap between buyer price and seller price must be equal to what? Tax size. So that PB minus PS must be equal to 15. Therefore what is the price paid by buyer then? Price paid by buyer will be equal to what? Price for seller plus 15. So it is 68.5 plus 15, 83.5. This is the price paid by buyer and 68.5 was the price received by the seller. The gap between these two price was 15. And how much is quantity after tax? How much is the quantity after tax? You can calculate quantity from equilibrium point, but एक mistake normally होता है, उसको avoid कीजिएगा, because now we have two different price. Prices can be different, but market equilibrium quantity can't be different. Quantity तो same ही आनी है, but prices are different. So always be careful, because now you have changed the demand function. Original function was this, you have changed the demand function, but you have not changed what? Supply function. तो वहाँ कोई error नहीं हो सकता. तो use supply function to calculate market equilibrium quantity. सो हाउ टू कैलकुलेट मार्केट क्वांटिटी, -1500 प्लस 45 और P की जगह कौन सी वैल्यू पुट करेंगे? इन सप्लाई फंक्शन यू विल यूज विच प्राइस, पेड बाय बायर और रिसीव्ड बाय सेलर? सेलर। सप्लाई फंक्शन में सेलर का प्राइस आएगा, डिमांड फंक्शन में बायर का प्राइस आएगा। सो सिंस यू आर यूजिंग सप्लाई कम फंक्शन, सो यूज द प्राइस रिसीव्ड बाय द सेलर। तो 68.5 यहाँ पुट करके कैलकुलेट कर लेंगे। और क्वांटिटी आफ्टर टैक्स 1650 से कम आएगा, बिकॉज व्हेन टैक्स विल बी इम्पोज क्वांटिटी आफ्टर टैक्स विल गेट रिड्यूस्ड। कंसेप्चुअली याद रखिएगा, कंसेप्चुअली आफ्टर टैक्स बायर विल पे मोर, सेलर विल रिसीव लेस। आफ्टर टैक्स इन मार्केट लेस क्वांटिटी विल बी ट्रेडेड और एक्सचेंज। सो क्वांटिटी की वैल्यू भी इससे कम आनी है। 1650 पहले से आया हुआ है, तो नई वैल्यू कैलकुलेट किया, -1500 प्लस 45 इंटू 68.5। I hope 1582.5 1582.5 clear है? How much is government tax revenue? How much revenue government has collected? What was the tax? Tax was 15 rupees on each unit, and after tax how much quantity has been sold in market? Tax, total tax revenue will be on each unit there was a tax of 15 rupees, and after tax 1582.5 unit has been sold, so tax revenue will be 15 into 1582.5, ये गवर्नमेंट का रेवेन्यू हो जाएगा। Remember, you have to follow only one concept, and that concept is when tax is imposed and question says it is imposed on buyer, then change what? But if question says it is imposed on seller, then change supply function. But how to write supply function? Supply function लिखते समय क्या करोगे? -1500 plus 45 for seller price will reduce, so you will write new supply function as -1500 plus 45 and within bracket what you will write? P minus 15. घर पे जाकर के इसको दोबारा सॉल्व करेंगे, the answer will be same. It does not matter whether tax is imposed on buyer or whether it is imposed on seller, the outcome will remain same. तो यहाँ जो सॉल्व कर रखा है, you are assuming that tax imposed on buyer. Same thing can be solved by assuming that tax imposed on seller. 16 point seller का फंक्शन है ना, because you are writing which equation here? Supply curve. So seller will determine supply according to the price received by the seller. In demand function you write price paid by buyer, and in supply function you write price received by seller. Although if you want to recalculate, cross check करना है, ठीक है, हमने ये फंक्शन यूज़ नहीं करके अगर ये फंक्शन यूज़ किया है तो ठीक है, आप इसे फंक्शन में यहाँ 2000 माइनस 5 P प्लस 15, P प्लस 15 की जगह 83.5 डाल दीजिए, सेम आंसर आएगा। उस फंक्शन से अगर आपको कैलकुलेट करना है तो हमने P कैसे सॉल्व कर रखा है, 68.5 वहाँ P की जगह लिखा, बट 68.5 प्लस 15 हो जाएगा वो। तो इस कंप्लीट इस पूरे ब्रैकेट में जो टर्म लिखा हुआ है उसके जगह आप 83.5 पुट कर दो, द आंसर विल बी सेम, यू कैन क्रॉस चेक, सेम आंसर आएगा। ठीक है, किसी और वैल्यू से एक प्रॉब्लम से कर लेना। ये क्वेश्चन नंबर 11 होगा, चैप्टर नंबर 8 में आई थिंक। एक प्रॉब्लम करना, क्वेश्चन नंबर 11, क्वेश्चन नंबर 11 है, चैप्टर नंबर 8 में, बुकलेट में याद रखिएगा, वो पेज नंबर 29 पे है, पेज 29 देख लो, पेज 29, क्वेश्चन नंबर 11, पेज 29, क्वेश्चन नंबर 11। ठीक है, ये बुकलेट आपके पास अवेलेबल है। जितने पार्ट सभी कर सकते हो उतने आप सॉल्व कर सकते हो यहाँ पे। क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड फंक्शन इज गिवन एज 2p, सप्लाई का फंक्शन गिवन है, क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड फंक्शन इज गिवन टू यू, क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड गिवन है 2p एंड क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड इज 300 माइनस p। सॉल्व फॉर इक्विवेलेंट प्राइस इन क्वांटिटी, ये हो जाएगा। सपोज अ टैक्स ऑफ t इज प्लेस्ड ऑन बायर, जैसे यहाँ को फंक्शन देखना क्या लिखा है, क्वेश्चन में कहा गया टैक्स ऑफ t इज प्लेस्ड, t की कोई वैल्यू गिवन नहीं है तो ये t पर यूनिट है। इट इज प्लेस्ड ऑन बायर सो दैट न्यू डिमांड फंक्शन बिकम्स, तो हाउ टू राइट न्यू डिमांड फंक्शन, डिमांड के फंक्शन में जहाँ p लिखा है उसमें t क्या करना है, ऐड कर देना है। सॉल्व फॉर न्यू इक्विलिब्रियम, व्हाट हैपेंस टू द प्राइस रिसीव्ड बाय सेलर, पेड बाय बायर एंड द क्वांटिटी सोल्ड एंड टैक्स रेवेन्यू। You can solve A part, B part and C part. D डेडवेट लॉस है वो भी नहीं पड़ा, वो सब्सिक्वेंटली सॉल्व करेंगे। सॉल्व जस्ट A, B and C, A, B and C। हाँ टी के टर्म में आएगा सारा, टी की वैल्यू गिवन नहीं है, सो ऑल विल बी इन टर्म्स ऑफ टी। ठीक है, पी की वैल्यू आ गई टैक्स से पहले 100 एंड क्वांटिटी विल बी 200। बिफोर टैक्स वैल्यू ये, देन आफ्टर टैक्स, since tax is on buyer, so you will write what, new demand function। So that new demand function is 300 minus P plus T। Equate this demand with supply, 300 minus P plus T is equal to 2P, and solve for P now। 100 minus क्लियर है सबके लिए? इज इट प्राइस पेड बाय बायर और रिसीव्ड बाय सेलर? बिकॉज इज लेस देन अर्लियर वैल्यू, अर्लियर इट वाज 100, नाउ इट इज 100 माइनस सम वैल्यू, सो लोअर वैल्यू है, देयरफॉर दिस इज प्राइस रिसीव्ड बाय सेलर। एंड हाउ टू गेट प्राइस पेड बाय बायर? प्राइस रिसीव्ड बाय सेलर प्लस टैक्स, so it will be 100 minus t by 3 plus t, so that will be 100 plus 2t by 3। ठीक है, now next part was how much was quantity after tax? How much is quantity after tax? Before tax it was 200, so after taxes must be less than 200। What is exact value?
200 minus 2t upon 3।
ठीक है, उसको क्वांटिटी के लिए क्या कर सकते हो आप? यू कैन यूज आइदर डिमांड फंक्शन और यू कैन यूज सप्लाई फंक्शन। एरर अगर नहीं करना है, ऑलवेज यूज दैट फंक्शन विच यू हैव नॉट चेंज, जिसको हमने चेंज नहीं किया आप वो यूज करो, बिकॉज एरर के स्कोप ही नहीं है फिर। सो व्हाट हैज नॉट चेंज इज, सो आई राइट 2p। अब आप ये बताओ विच प्राइस आई विल पुट हियर, सिंस आई एम राइटिंग सप्लाई इक्वेशन, so I will use the price received by the seller, and price received by seller is 100 minus T by 3. So it will be 200 minus 2T by 3. Fine. Now how much is government tax revenue? How much is government tax revenue? Government tax revenue is equal to what? Government tax revenue is always equal to size of tax multiplied by quantity after tax. So size of tax is T multiplied by quantity after tax, which is 200 minus 2T by 3. So that will be 200T minus 2T square by 3. 200T minus 2T square by 3. ठीक है? Show all these informations graphically. Show all these informations graphically. ग्राफ बना करके सारे मार्किंग कीजिए. अभी ग्राफ बना करके सब कुछ मार्क करना. एंड यू आई रिक्वायर एग्जैक्ट प्लॉटिंग. एग्जैक्ट प्लॉटिंग चाहिए. सो व्हाट आर द इंटरसेप्ट ऑफ डिमांड फंक्शन? Q is 300 minus P. प्लॉट करना आता है. If I say P0, then how much is quantity? 300. So this intercept will be 300. When quantity is 0, then what is price? If Q is 0, then P will be 300. ये intercept भी 300 है. 300 और 300 के intercept को straight line से connect कर लेंगे. Now how to plot supply curve? When P is 0, how much is supply? So it starts from origin. What was price without tax? Price without tax. So right here 100 and here 200. How much is tax? Tax is T per unit. So just draw a vertical line. Don't shift any curve. Just draw a vertical line, and what will be the length of that line? T. So after tax, who will pay more? Buyer. And who will receive less? So what are the respective values? बाहर के लिए प्राइस और सेलर के लिए प्राइस क्या है? 100 minus T by 3 is for seller. So lower value 100 minus T by 3, and for buyer it is 100 plus 2T by 3. 100 plus 2T by 3. Clear है? This area will be buyer's burden. This one is seller's burden. Complete will be government tax revenue. And how much is quantity after tax? How much is quantity after tax? 200 minus 2T by 3. Quantity after tax की वैल्यू ये. Quantity after tax will be this. Clear है? तो first thing, remember the burden of tax on buyer and seller depends upon elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply. उस specific relationship को याद रखेंगे. The buyer and seller will always share the burden. In which proportion? The seller's burden upon buyer's burden was equal to elasticity of demand upon elasticity of supply. The buyer and seller will always share the burden in the proportion of elasticity demand and elasticity of supply. Taxes can be imposed on buyer, it can be imposed on seller, but the outcome remains same. Outcome remains same in the sense that if I say a given demand curve and supply curve, ये टैक्स से पहले का प्राइस है, यहाँ देखना जरा. If I say tax on seller, then supply curve shifts upward. After that, this is the gap, which is tax. This is the price paid by buyer, buyer's burden. this is the price received by seller, seller's burden. When I say tax is on buyer, ध्यान देना फर्क करे डायग्राम में क्या हो रहा है. If I say tax is on buyer, then I will shift demand curve downward. This intersection will determine the new quantity. The gap between demand curve is now tax size. Earlier it was this price. This higher price will be again price paid by buyer, and this lower one is price received by seller. This is buyer's burden and this is seller's burden. Therefore, if I combine this, ये demand curve है और ये supply curve है, intersection determine the price. When I say there is a tax, simply create a gap here, and after that mark this is the price paid by buyer and this is the price received by seller, and this is the quantity after tax and this was before tax, and this is the burden on buyer and this is the burden on seller. No need to shift any curve. शिफ्ट नहीं करना है क्योंकि इफ इट इज टैक्स ऑन सेलर तो आप सप्लाई का यहाँ से क्रॉस कर रहे हो. इफ इट इज ऑन बायर यू आर शिफ्टिंग डिमांड का फ्रॉम देयर. आउटकम पे तो फर्क नहीं पड़ता. तो आउटकम ऑलवेज रिमेन सेम, एंड दैट रिलेशनशिप यू मस्ट रिमेंबर. बायर्स बर्डन over seller's burden is always equal to elasticity of supply over elasticity of demand. Buyer's burden upon seller's burden always equal to elasticity of supply and elasticity of demand. और कुछ एक्सट्रीम कंडीशन यहाँ पे नोट करके रखेंगे. If I say elasticity of demand is 0, then if elasticity demand is 0, then ED 0, then seller's burden 0, full burden on buyer. So if elasticity demand is 0, then full burden on buyer. If ED is 0, then complete burden of tax will be on buyer. When elasticity of supply is 0, then full burden on seller. If elasticity of demand is infinity, then greater will be ED, greater will be burden on seller. So when elasticity demand is infinity, full burden on seller. Full burden on seller. And finally, when elasticity of supply is infinity, then full burden on buyer. Full burden will be on buyer. ठीक है. जैसे इस फॉर्म के क्वेश्चन आपको पेपर में बेसिकली ऐसे मिल जाएंगे. पेज नंबर 67 पे पास पेपर में होगा. जैसे आप स्टेटमेंट रीड कर लेना. What are the factors that determine burden of tax and deadweight loss? Deadweight loss अभी नहीं पढ़ा आपने, सर कल की नेक्स्ट क्लास में हो जाएगा. What are the factors that determine the burden of tax? So the burden of tax depends upon elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply. वो रिलेशनशिप के अकॉर्डिंग इसको एक्सप्लेन कर देना. Show with the help of diagram the burden borne by buyer as well as by seller. Under what condition there no deadweight loss despite the incidence of tax? तो deadweight loss का टॉपिक जब आ जाएगा तो कंप्लीट क्वेश्चन हो जाएगा. ये क्वेश्चन अभी आपने कर लिया, न्यूमेरिकली सॉल्व कर लिया. एक क्वेश्चन आप रजिस्टर में और लिख लेना जस्ट प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए. 2015 का एक पेपर है, ये कर लिया. ये कॉपी कर लिया, डन। एक क्वेश्चन आप प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए 2015 का क्वेश्चन नंबर 7, क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 का सेकंड पार्ट ऑन पेज नंबर 56, पेज नंबर 56 पे। ठीक है, रिमेंबर ये जो ऑनलाइन क्लास कर रहे हैं उनको ये बुकलेट मिल जाएगी। ठीक है, जो बुकलेट यहाँ शो कर रहे हैं ये आपको कुरियर से मिल जाएगा या स्कैन करके। तो ये डिमांड फंक्शन बेसिकली गिवन है, सप्लाई फंक्शन दिया रखा, डिमांड फंक्शन गिवन है, टैक्स रेवेन्यू बताना है। तो मैं क्वेश्चन को यहाँ लिख दे रहा हूँ, आप 2015 से रजिस्टर में ईयर मेंशन कर लेंगे। 2015 क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 सेकंड पार्ट, quantity supplied is given as 2p minus 100 and demand function is 200 minus p and tax of rupees 15 per unit। ठीक है, calculate price and quantity before and after tax, calculate price and quantity before and after tax, calculate price and quantity before and after tax, and also calculate government tax revenue, and also calculate government tax revenue, also calculate government tax revenue। ठीक है, बन जाएगा। विदाउट टैक्स कैलकुलेट कर लीजिएगा, फिर आफ्टर टैक्स कैलकुलेट कर लेना। जैसे 2 न्यूमेरिकल पहले किए वैसे अकॉर्डिंगली थर्ड न्यूमेरिकल हो जाएगा। सो एक्सपेक्ट 1 पार्ट न्यूमेरिकल 6 मार्क्स का हो या 7 मार्क्स का हो। यू विल कीप ऑन एडिंग, मतलब जो हमने 2 पॉइंट अभी कैलकुलेट किया है इसी क्वेश्चन में यू आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू कैलकुलेट डेड वेट लॉस। सो व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ डेड वेट लॉस एंड हाउ टू कैलकुलेट दैट डेड वेट लॉस। रिमेंबर अभी क्लास के अंदर आपने चैप्टर 6 का भी थोड़ा पार्ट पढ़ा है, चैप्टर 7 भी थोड़ा सा पढ़ा है और 8 भी पढ़ा है। ठीक है, चैप्टर की टॉपिक की कंटिन्यूटी थी। टैक्सेशन का इंट्रोडक्शन चैप्टर 6 में है, इलास्टिसिटी का कंसेप्ट पहले है, और ये जो प्रॉब्लम जितने कर रहे थे वो चैप्टर नंबर 8 का। ठीक है, तो आप चैप्टर के हेडिंग नहीं डालते हैं, आप टॉपिक टू टॉपिक एक्सप्लेन करते जाए। मतलब इंसिडेंस ऑफ टैक्स मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट कंटेंट है एप्लीकेशन वाले साइड में। तो ये कंटिन्यूटी में से फॉर्म में होता है। ऑलवेज रिमेंबर टू साइड ऑफ एनी टॉपिक, वन न्यूमेरिकल एंड द अदर डिस्क्रिप्टिव, विद द हेल्प ऑफ डायग्राम एंड अदर न्यूमेरिकल जो आपको कैलकुलेट करना है। क्लियर है? तो रीडिंग आप लोगों के पास है, ये बुकलेट अवेलेबल है। बुकलेट मतलब पास पेपर इसमें है, मोस्टली इसके सॉल्यूशन भी होंगे, वो भी मिल जाएंगे। जो बुकलेट यहाँ से मिल जाएगी, रिमेंबर इसके जो आंसर होंगे मोस्टली क्लास के अंदर हो जाएंगे एक्सप्लेन करते समय। पार्टली जो रह जाएगा उसका आपको आंसर मिल जाएगा। और पास्ट पेपर जितने भी 10 ईयर, सो नो नीड टू बाई 10 ईयर। जो पास्ट पेपर है वो इसके अंदर इंक्लूडेड है। जो भी एक्स्ट्रा चीज़ें होंगी, जो भी क्लास के अंदर डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होगा वो मेल के थ्रू, जो अगर स्टूडेंट ऑनलाइन कर रहे हैं तो उनको मेल के थ्रू भी मिल जाएगा। और स्टूडेंट्स अटेंडिंग दिस ऑनलाइन क्लास कैन कम ऑफलाइन फॉर देयर डाउट क्लास ऑल्सो। अगर ऑनलाइन भी आप करते हो तो डाउट के लिए आप ऑफलाइन यानी यहाँ पे आ सकते हैं। ठीक है, तो ये बुकलेट आपको अवेलेबल है। टोटलिटी में इंट्रोडक्टरी मैक्रो का बहुत ज़्यादा कंटेंट नहीं होता, बट इट विल बी टेकिंग अराउंड से 20 क्लासेस, 20 to 24 क्लास में ओवर हो जाएगा। मोस्टली द मेजर कंटेंट इज यूनिट नंबर 2, यूनिट नंबर 3 एंड यूनिट नंबर 4। यूनिट नंबर 2, यूनिट नंबर 3 एंड यूनिट नंबर 4। ठीक है, सो विल कंटिन्यू विद द सेकेंड क्लास। इस क्लास से यहाँ से कंटिन्यूटी रहेगी।